I'm gonna play you a very heavy song for me. It's just hard to get through, so I'm obviously gonna need all the help I can get on this. Are you ready?
I love a live performance.
Yeah, this is wild.
Bury all your secrets in my skin.
Oh, music is magic.
Come away with innocence. Leave me with my sins. The air around me still feels like a cage. Love is just a camouflage for what resembles rage.
Okay, I'm feeling sad already. I'm getting the vibe that this is sad.
Sounds like it's pretty
How are you
emotional
feeling?
already, yeah. But it's cool. You know, I've never done an acoustic thing like this, but the intimacy that he has with the fans, like in the setting, like the environment, just already so personal. So it's like, if you have a connection to the song, you're probably really feeling it right now, you know?
Yeah, totally. I'm feeling it and I'm not even there. And I'm like, oh no, am I about to cry right now? Okay, let's keep going.
So if you love me, let me go. Run away before I know. My heart is just too dark to care. I can't destroy what isn't there. Deliver me into my fate. If I'm alone, I cannot hate. I don't deserve to have you. My smile was taken long ago. If I can change, I hope I'll never know.
Whoa, there's so much pain in these lyrics, kind of like dissonant pain, in the sense of there's like the idea of like, if you love me, let me go. But there's also the like, my heart's too dark to care, which it feels like those things can't coexist together.
Yeah.
If your heart's too dark to care, then why would you need someone to love you to let you go? And then it's also the like, I don't deserve you. Like it's the like disconnected layers of anguish that someone goes through.
It reminds me of like when I went through a really bad, gnarly breakup. It's like I'm driving home from work or something, you know? And it's like all these different stories are playing in my head of like all these things that like she did. And it's like, you know, I think about her and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like I miss her so much and I love her and I wanted the best for her and like all of these things. And then this other thought of something gnarly she did to me and I'm like, oh, I hope she's dead. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, she's the worst. Like, get out of here. And so like all of these conflicting emotions are like, seems like they're all happening pretty much at the same time because it's like a line after a line. There isn't like a story being told of like, I'm in this moment and then I'm going to go into this moment. It's like, it's one after the other. So it seems like it's like all these emotions just like crashing into each other.
Yes, it's like different voices in your mind telling you different things about the pain and about the person. Yeah. It's like, I don't deserve you. And also like, I hate you.
Yeah. And then think about this. When that does happen, when you feel like 1 minute you're like, you don't deserve the person, the next minute you hate them, and the third minute you know, when that happens, think about how you actually feel in that moment. You feel completely confused and lost. And you know who the first one to step in the door is when you feel confused and lost? Shame. Shame and fear. When something like this chaotic is happening in my life, you don't feel that comfort. You don't feel the security. You're confused, you're lost, and then shame shows up or fear shows up. And it's just like, oh my gosh, it's like a spiral. But I mean, I'm excited to hear what else he has to say.
He has so many waters on that table.
Dude, he's got it. I'm sure he's playing forever.
The grief.
Cherish them in parts of me, savor every kiss. I couldn't face a life without your light. All of that was ripped apart when you refused to fight. So save your breath, I will not hear. I think I made it very clear. You couldn't hate enough to love. Is that supposed to be enough? I only wish you were my friend. Then I could hurt you in the end. I never claimed to be a saint. My own was banished long ago. I took the death of hope to let you go.
Oh my God. That idea, he's like clearly in grief here. Like, I still press your letters to my lips and cherish them of parts of me that savor every kiss. It's like, oh my gosh, that the anguish of longing for someone. But then like even the tonality in his voice changes when he's like, but all of that was ripped apart when you refused to fight. Like the grief anguish turns to anger anguish. And then it's like, so save your breath, I hate you. You couldn't hate enough to love. It's just like...
It definitely takes a turn.
It's like a really shitty cake. Like there's all these layers of just pain.
Yeah, this is like the end.
Yeah.
It seems. In like a big way for him. Like it's not something that I want to mention too. You know, there's people who perform and then there's people who are like sharing, you know? And like I feel like this is not a performance. Like specifically for this song, like he's not just going through the motions, I don't think.
No.
I think he's like genuinely is putting himself back there or genuinely giving honor to the depth and value and meaningfulness of this song, saying like, hey, this is one that I'm really gonna share. Because sometimes artists can just kind of run through the motions and be like, yep, like we're doing this, it's great.
Yeah.
But then there's certain ones that are like, yeah, this is really important to me. So it kind of seems like that to me.
Yeah.
But he's also he's a great entertainer and he's a great musician. So
I think that's really good. And I like what you said earlier about how like when you're in that place, like when you've gone through a bad breakup, like all of these layers come up at the same time, and it can be so confusing and overwhelming. And I think it's just really healing for people to see they're not alone in that, in the sense of like this person that people look up to wrote this song about that very real experience, is clearly still able to connect with it in a meaningful way.
Yeah, and I think that that's the power of music. Like I think that that's what drew me to music, you know, is the fact that someone wrote words that meant something to me because I understood what they were going through, which meant I wasn't alone. I think this is awesome what you're doing, Taylor, like being able to break these things down and like really try to put them on the ground for people to understand a certain perspective. I think it's super important. It's a good song.
It's a great song. Okay, let's finish it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's sad, but it's great.
So break yourself against my stones and spit your pity in my soul. You never needed any help. You sold me out to save yourself, and I won't listen to your shame. You ran away, you're all the same. Angels lie to keep control. Ooh, my love was punished long ago. If you still get on, never let me know. You still get on, never let me know.
I mean, that'll make you a fan right there.
Yeah. Dang.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's so good.
That's really cool.
And I think that what's so interesting at the end is it kind of actually shows the danger of this kind of anguish if it goes unprocessed, which is the you ran away, you're all the same. That generalization of like, because I'm experiencing
this isn't the first time.
Yeah. And because I'm experiencing this pain with someone that I loved, everyone that I loved will cause me this pain.
Right. Because then it's like, okay, well, then I'm just not going to love anymore.
Right.
It's kind of the end result, right?
And then the like, so if you still care, don't ever let me know. Shows that there's still a part of this person that does believe that love is possible, because otherwise it wouldn't matter if they did let them know.
How do you handle a situation like this? Like what would you, if I was in this moment, like experiencing what he was experiencing, you know?
You can use the song. Like when you listen to this song, there is a layer of anguish for every part of the healing journey. And when you listen to it, you can ask yourself, like, what lyric do I relate to? Like, do you relate to this part of my heart is just too dark to care? Or do you relate more to this idea of like, I don't deserve to have you? And when you listen and you find that lyric that is hitting home for you in that moment, you can use that as a jumping off point to process, to get curious. Okay, like, what is it that makes you feel like you don't deserve to have you? What story do you hold that tells you that you're unworthy? That is like the entryway into the work. Because if you believe that you're fundamentally unworthy, it's actually like could lead to this feeling of like you ran away, you're all the same, because you'll seek unconsciously people who continue to make you feel unworthy. So you have to process. I think like you said at the beginning, Jake, being in that place is a really overwhelming thing. It's a really confusing thing. And so if you can use the lyrics, it's like, just take it one lyric at a time. Okay, why do I relate to this lyric in this moment? What is this story? There's so much value in, like, if you listen to this song over and over and over again, it's going to help you process through if you do that.
Yeah, I think just even like journaling, like writing the lyric down, thinking about it, and then journaling how you feel and what comes to mind. And it's like, okay, man, like this is the stuff that you are dealing with. That's real. And when it's on paper, it's even more real. It's like, okay, great. Now it's on paper. Now we know it's here, you know, and it's something that I can work through and I work on. Yeah, I think journaling is such a huge tool for me personally, especially in moments like this. You know, it's like, man, I'm losing it here a little bit. I've got to put this on paper so that I can see clearly and try to process through some of this. And then what I like to do personally, just to get to know myself a little better, is ask myself questions about these things.
Yeah.
Why is it so important to me? You know, or what is it that I loved so much about this relationship or this person or this situation and this experience? And like a lot of times what I can realize and what I find out is like there was something in that relationship that felt comfortable for me that remind me of my family or parents. And that could be a good thing or that could be a bad thing. And sometimes I'm comfortable with bad things. And then there might be some other things that I really had a lot of joy in because it gave me an opportunity to be part of the person that I want to be. You know, being a good boyfriend or being someone who was providing, you know, where I felt like my life growing up, like I had to find ways to provide. And now I had someone who loved me and I was able to provide for them. So it's like just even going down that journey, you start to see the things and then it's like, oh my gosh, like that's not healthy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's not healthy that I'm attracted to that. Or for anybody that's watching this, like Taylor said, like the lyric and then just kind of digest it and maybe journal and see what comes up and go on a little cool journey of getting to know yourself a little better and self-reflecting. And, you know, when you do that and you've got it all journaled out and you start to realize like, man, this is a thing that I learned from my parents that is unhealthy. There's so much you can do with that information. You could go back to your parents and say, look, I just realized that I carried this on from you into my relationship. I need to discuss that. I need to share with you, right? Or you can bring it to a friend. Say, hey, do you experience this or have you ever experienced this in your relationships? And like, how did you sort through that or work through that, right? The other thing is you could take it to a therapist and say, yeah, I need to speak on this specifically. Like, I don't want to talk about anything else really right now. I really want to hone in on this particular thing. And the whole idea about this is to get well or to get stronger, right? And to be the person that you want to be. So there's no shame in saying, hey, look, this is some crap that I learned or some crap that happened to me when I was a kid or currently that I want to forgive myself for or someone else so that I can learn from my mistakes or I can grow from this and heal from it. So that my purpose in life, I can do it to the best of its abilities, and the people around me, I can treat them to the best of my abilities and the love that I give.
Okay, you know what's really cool is that you can actually use our comment section, is that journal. So if you want to share and receive support for a lyric that you relate to in this song, just do it in the comments and tag out HeartSupport, and our community will encourage you and will help you start that journey of processing through your layers of anguish. Do it at HeartSupport.
Let's go.
Hit it. We can make the comment section your journal, and we'll write back with love and care. And guess what, you guys? If you want to see more metal music to shift your mindset, especially with Jake, because he's going to come on a video again soon, hit subscribe so you don't miss it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
It was awesome. Loved it. This was great.
Okay. And last thing, if you like watching Slipknot in particular, we're working our way through the whole discography. We just did the negative one, and it's really, really helpful if you are experiencing a lot of pain and depression as well. So check that out.